we all understand the type of climate that we're dealing with. We're dealing with multiple offer situations.
I'd love to know sort of what's your why? What makes you tick? Why are you so successful?
Have a dialogue with your lawyer. Have a dialogue with your agent.
Both sort of passionate about sort of what we do.
Again, vet your agent to make sure that they're experienced and they're local. I like that idea.
No excuse to miss it on Saturdays from 8 to 9.
That's right.
WBZ.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Shearer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
The software that most of these companies have been using has been around longer than all of us together because that's just how it is, and nobody has changed it yet. I don't see them really changing. I know the new talk with the new system is to add in if they're a renter. So they should be getting value for their time that they've been paying rent on time. Or to have like your cell phone carrier or your utility bills report that you've been paying on time. Because as you know right now, utility bills do not report unless you're in collections and owe them and you're past due.
Right.
So when people say, you know what, those don't report, medical and utilities don't report, you're right. They don't report until you're negative. Mm-hmm. Then they do report and they do affect your score. So that's kind of the catch-all when people say, well, wait a minute, medical and utilities are not supposed to be on my credit report. You're right, they're not. Unless you're bad with them, and then they report it.
But there is no drawback in terms of adding utility payments or rent payments in order to be able to get a better picture of the individual's credit worthiness. And I understand that you may not be able to put words may not come into play with regards to these numerical formulas, but you can translate those histories into something numerical that could be meaningful, that would in turn increase the person's credit score. No?
Well, you're absolutely right. You could put it in just like you do as if it was a mortgage or a loan. You can put in their history the exact same way. I see the problem with that being the fact that now these utility companies and the rental people are going to have to pay money to report to these bureaus. Mm-hmm. You can't just report. You have to pay and invest time and money into it.
The house has got to be prepped. It's got to be in really good shape, no deferred maintenance. Buyers are picky these days. They really they don't want to get into a situation where they're going to have to pour thousands of dollars into the house.
And let's face it, I think a buyer that looks at something that's relatively minor, they automatically think it's going to cost thousands of dollars to fix.
Everything looks worse than it really is.
Right.
And it's amazing because, you hear the word granite. Everybody wants granite. I mean, that is really an inexpensive fix. If all they want is granite, $3,000 later, you've got your granite.
That's exactly what I did. When I had to sell my house, I got it staged, right?
Yep.
We put granite countertops in, and then I looked around and I go, maybe we should stay here. This looks actually pretty good. But yeah, we talk about this all the time. I'd love to get your opinion on it. Do you recommend a pre-home inspection to really get a lot of that stuff taken care of before hitting the market?
That's a good question. I wrestle with that. Sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. I think that we all, if you live in a house, you know what you're dealing with in terms of problems. Fix them. If you need a new roof, fix it. If the house needs to be painted, paint it. Because you're going to get, one way or another, you're going to pay for it, whether it's in your price or up front. The other thing that's interesting is if you're thinking about selling in the distant next year, 2 years, 5 years, do your improvements now. Enjoy them. Live with the granite. Live with the new roof. Do some landscaping. But condition is really important.
That's an excellent advice. Make those improvements now and live with it now.
Absolutely. Enjoy them. Absolutely.
We appreciate the fact that I think you are working 10 times more than you did before, just based on the fact that we have limited inventory and based on the fact that you have multiple offers. How do you manage the client's emotions? Because I can't possibly imagine going through that myself as a buyer.
It can be stressful. I wear a lot of hats. Sometimes I'm a psychiatrist. Sometimes I'm a firefighter. I have some cheesy one-liners. One of them is, you got to be in it to win it. So if you're looking at a house and you love it and you want to go, you got to be motivated. You have to be prepared, and you got to come in strong. And if you want to win that offer, you got to be in there. So and also there's a show on ESPN, Numbers Never Lie. If you look at the sale to list price ratio in Natick and a lot of these towns, it's 97, 98, 99. See, if some of them are even 100%.
Right.
So you tell me, I want to offer 5% less. Well, that's not going to get it done.
Yeah, especially if there's multiple offer situations.
Exactly. You got to come in. You may have to offer over, and then you also have to do things to put the advantage in your side. put a $5,000 amount on the home inspection contingency. Anything, less than that, you're not going to nickel and dime them over it. Offer a rent back situation. Do a 90-day close and say we'll let you stay in your house for X amount of dollars, because look,
up to 60 days.
Up to 60 days. Yeah. So.
No, but and we talk about this, and Lon, you and I structure deals like this all the time, where we'll do a commitment within a week after the signing of the purchase and sale. So that what that allows you to do is go up against these cash buyers, because once the money goes hard at purchase and sale, that's the sort of the big benefit to a cash buyer. If you have a better offer and they only have to wait a week after the signing of the purchase and sale, a lot of sellers will take your offer over a cash offer.